Andrea here. Andrea, great to be here. Let's just take a deep breath. It is 8 p.m. UK time. And my goodness, that's been some full-on energy. So I'm just going to invite you to take a breath, whether you are tuning in live, whether you are tuning in, catching up. It's great to be here. It's so nice to be live. I haven't done lives for a while and it feels kind of good. Maybe I'll do more. We'll see. Yeah, so it feels like there's some heavy energy. It feels, just feels like there's some heavy energy around today. It's 7th of July, 7/7. Really intense energy, but also an opportunity for us to take some time for ourselves to really process however that energy is showing up for us. And so I'm really just going to invite you just to really simply just tune into your breath. Just give yourself the space that maybe you've been craving all day. Because I'm going to be talking about self-love. And breathe. And if you would like to say hi, please do. If not, that's great too. Just do whatever you feel is right for you. Just catching your breath, because sometimes I talk about self-care, but at the moment self-love is really coming up because it just feels so much more nourishing. Self-care for me is like 5 minutes grabbed here and there. And we often talk about we take the time to brush our teeth, so why not take 2 minutes for our own self-care? But for me, it goes deeper than that. It really feels like we are being called to nourish our soul and to really come back to remembering to nourish ourselves, because no matter what your job is, no matter whether you have a family or not, all of us are a lot of the time are caring for other people. And so we have kind of been taught to put others' needs first, even though we're supposed to put our oxygen mask on first, right? We're still taught. It's just been going on for generations to put other people first. And I talked in my blog about martyrdom is celebrated. Sacrificing ourselves for others. But what if that just leaves us empty? Then how can we be there for others if we're coming from that empty cup? And as a mum, I so feel that, because as a young mum, I just didn't feel that I could take time for me. And so I didn't really invite any opportunities. I just felt that it was all on me. And a lot of people my age are having really tense shoulders, really painful shoulders. And just think about, we're carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. For men, a lot of the time, it shows up in their back. I speak to so many people who are saying, oh yeah, I've had this back pain. I've had it for a while now. And all of that weight that we're carrying, thank you, Christiana. It shows up in our body. And so our body's trying to get our attention. And then I was speaking to someone today who was saying when they were in pain and they were just going to fight through it. And what if we could just take time to listen? So if you were to think about what your body was showing up for you at the moment, if you were to listen to your body, even listen to your soul, I wonder what it would say. I wonder what it needs. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. So, you know, I love tapping because for me, it's a really great first way of sort of quietening the mind chatter and helping us to get to the truth within. Hey Jackie, hi Diane, great to see you guys. And so I'm going to do some tapping today, but I'm also just going to invite you to tune within, just to give yourself the space that we often don't give ourselves. Really just imagine yourself going within. Imagine yourself just giving yourself the space and just trusting that everything that's going on around, all the outside noise, is being taken care of. What if you knew that it's not all on you? What if you knew that you could call on support to help you to move through challenges? And breathe. And just becoming conscious of your breath sometimes when we're feeling overwhelmed or when we're feeling stressed. Just becoming conscious of our breath. Simple, simple things. Going within and just imagining that you're going within your heart. And you're listening to the whispers of your heart that a lot of the time we don't hear because we're so busy with our head, in our head, or we're busy doing that we don't take the time just to tune within to our inner guidance, who knows what we need. And what if the tiredness that's showing up is not something just to fight or to fight through? What if the tiredness is just a sign that we just need to rest a little bit more than we're used to doing? Bit of a contradiction there in terms of doing. So just inviting you just to check in. How are you feeling now? Just after tuning into your breath, choosing to go within. Maybe even just with that, we can quieten that voice that's always chattering about what we need to do next. And just taking a breath. And what if we could just practice some conscious breathing throughout the day? When we've been rushing around, just giving ourselves a couple of minutes just to stop and breathe, becoming conscious of our breath without any judgment. And just breathing and just even feeling your lungs opening, your heart opening. How does that feel? Does your heart feel open? How's your breathing feeling? And so I'm just going to invite you, if you would like to share. If not, that's cool too. What is blocking you from taking time to nurture yourself? Really feeling into that. What is blocking you? What is stopping you from taking time for yourself to fill your cup? I'm going to just give you a little time because Facebook does take a little while for the comments to come through. In fact, I don't even know whether I can see the comments today. But just tuning into what's stopping you. And for me, it was definitely time as a young mum. I was always busy, rushing from one event for the kids to another, or something that I needed to be doing to another. When I was working in corporate, working 12-hour days, I never felt that I could stop. And we're all energetic beings. For me now, I'm picking up that if everybody's really busy and running around, then it's almost like you get pulled into that energy, right? You get pulled into that energy of needing to be busy because everybody else is, and then the guilt shows up. It's like, well, if they're really busy, then I need to be really busy. Well, I can't take time out because then that would make me look bad, right? Here are just some ideas that are coming through. Yeah, I've been rushing around and in your head. I'm feeling anxious. Yeah, Jackie, it's just something that we almost kind of have as a go-to, don't we? We almost kind of feel that we have to be busy, and then we get into our head and we have to-do lists going around in our head. And it's just kind of almost like a never-ending circle, right? And so what if it's just becoming conscious of, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I love that, Jackie. Amazing. You called in angels and guides to help, and now you see me on Facebook. That's so amazing. I love that they led you here. Thank you for being here. So now that you've been maybe taking a little bit of a conscious breath, could you imagine taking that into your day just as a simple something to do when you're rushing around, just being conscious of, do you know what, I'm rushing around, I'm in my head. I feel like there's so much to do. Maybe that's an invitation to stop. So I'm going to introduce some tapping because you know I love tapping. And I'm not going to go the ins and outs of it, but essentially for me it helps me to calm down that monkey mind, that anxious thinking that just goes on and in circles. Yeah, I'm just going to pick up Christiana's life that has stopped, my husband and me. Yeah, oh, you're in isolation with COVID, bless you. Yes, absolutely. You've had a lot going on, so definitely it's an invitation for you just to stop and take time out. Sending so much love for you. Absolutely, it is a perfect time for you to just to stop and tune into some self-care. So I'm going to do some tapping to help us to calm down some of those thoughts, some of that need to be rushing. And for me, the more tapping that I do, I can even start off tapping very quickly because I'm feeling that I need to be doing something. My talking might start off quick and then it slows down as I tap. It's amazing. And you can follow me tapping. There is a video on my YouTube channel, a few years old now, of the tapping points, so tune into those. But for now, it's really, there is no getting wrong. There is no getting tapping wrong. Literally, if you miss a point, it's all good. If you have a favorite point, use it as your emergency point. Just the one. It's all perfect. So just tuning into how you're feeling. How are you feeling right now? Or were you feeling it in your body? On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being really, really high and overwhelmed, where would it be? Ideally, we want it to be around about a 6 or lower because we're in a group. But just tune in and just know that you're held. You're in a safe space. And we are just going to tap. And I'm going to use some words, but please do use your own words. You will always get the benefit, but using your own words is just so powerful. So even though I'm feeling. I'm just going to use some of Jackie's words. If anybody else wants to throw in some of their words, then please do. Even though I'm feeling really anxious. And there's just so much to do. And my mind is so busy, and I feel like I have to be busy. Maybe it's coming up to the school holidays. There's so much to fit in before the school holidays. There's so much to fit in into a day. I'm choosing to love, honor, and accept myself anyway. Even though there's so much to do and I don't know how I'm going to get it all done. And there's certainly no time for self-care. I'm choosing just for today to love, honor, and accept myself anyway. Even though there's so much to do. There's no time for self-care for me. And that's been okay up until now. But I wonder if that could change. I'm going to go to the top of the head, just tapping on the points. There's no time for self-care. Never mind self-love. There's no time for me. There's way too much to do. There's too many people to look after. Everybody else's needs need to be taken care of first. I'm feeling so anxious. I have so much going on. I feel guilty if I take time out for me. Just tuning into the energy while we tap on the points. This is one of my favorites, the collarbone point. If you literally just scrunch up your shoulders, you'll find a lovely little groove. It is just, I'm just going to stay on there for a while. Beautiful for overwhelm, for anxious thoughts. There's so much going on. There's so much to do. I feel guilty if I take time out for me. There's too much to do. I'm feeling so anxious about all the things I have to do. Maybe it's even just exhausting, just thinking about all the things I have to do. Tune into how you're feeling. There's no time for me. I just have to accept it. There's no time for me. Under the arm. I'm just going to use the word self-care, and you tune into what's coming up for you around those words. I'm just tapping on the beautiful wrist points, so gentle, great for the emotions. Self-care, self-love. I'm tapping on the finger points, self-love. Self-care. Self-care. Self-love. Too much to do. Just putting your hand on your heart and just tuning into how you're feeling now. Wherever you were on the scale, has it come down or has it gone up? And it's okay if it's gone up, because it just means the energy is rising to the surface. If it's something that you may have been pushing down. So I wanted to show you the power of tapping. Now I've been tapping for a long time. I can feel the energy starting to move. How about you? So ideally, if we were tapping 1-to-1, we'd be looking at going down to 0. For the purposes of today, I just wanted to bring in, invite in a new way of thinking. Tune into your mind. Is it slowing down a little bit, or is it still super fast? How's your breathing? And this is all just being conscious. This is not at all with any judgment or anything, just tuning into how you're feeling. I have a bit of a skill for resolving patterns. And so this is one of the things that I use for myself, for clients, even though this pattern of not deserving self-care or feeling guilty for self-care has been going on in my life for such a long time. Maybe it's even come through the generations. That's okay. Even though this pattern's been going on for such a long time. And you know what? My ancestors didn't know any better. My parents were born before the war. There was no room for self-care. It was just about surviving. So they had to do. That was what put food on the table. And just because that was their pattern, that was their time. I'm ready to break that pattern now and create a new pattern. If you were to see that pattern, I'm going deep now, but it's just very intuitive, the work that I do. If you could see that pattern going down the family line, what would it look like? What color would it have? Could you change it? Could you replace it? How would that feel? Blessing every one of your ancestors for creating those patterns, because that was what they needed at the time. I'm ready to create a new pattern. I'm ready to make time for me. That's kind of a cool pattern, to create time for me. And what if by making time for me, I showed my family that they deserve self-care too? What if I could inspire others to take time out for self-care, for self-love, time to nourish my soul? And I wonder if I felt that I deserve this self-love. I wonder what I would do. I wonder how I could fit that into my day. Just tapping on this point for a little while. I wonder. I'm opening up my imagination. I'm opening up. I'm opening up to time magically unfolding for me to have some time for self-care. I wonder, I'm just tapping on the thymus point for some reason. I don't normally use this, but really good for the immune system. Really good for the immune system. I'm inviting time and opportunities for self-care into my world, to my life. And I wonder if there was guilt or not deserving or whatever it is that was blocking you. I wonder if you could just look at that with new eyes and just transform it into something more empowering, more nourishing. Just putting your hand on your heart and really just inviting that in. Imagine taking that into your day, an intention for opportunities to open up. Because when we believe that we don't deserve, or we believe we don't have time, just think about it. We're literally closing off our energy field, stopping ourselves from receiving. So I'm just going to invite you to open up to receiving in ways that you could never imagine, conceive, or create on your own. Opening your hands out to receive. How would your shoulders feel? How would your back feel? And breathe. How are you feeling now? If you feel inspired, do pop something in the chat. This is really just a very short moving through some of the energy. If you're feeling tired, that's good, because when we're rushing around, we're just creating so much cortisol and adrenaline to keep us going. It's just exhausting. We're not meant to be in that state all the time. And by doing this, by nourishing ourselves, by tapping, we're reducing our cortisol levels, and we're actually bringing in some happy vibes, the serotonin, which actually creates melatonin and helps us sleep. So if we're rushing around wired and we're not sleeping, then is that really a surprise? So this was just an invitation for you. I love that. Thank you, Jackie. Feeling very relaxed and reset. I'm so pleased. That's wonderful. Thank you, Jackie. You're so amazing. So I invite you to know that you deserve self-care. I invite you to become conscious of times when you are rushing around and just do something very short just to bring yourself into the moment. Something, even if it's just listening to a favorite song or stretching. What's your favorite method of self-care, of self-love? My voice just really thought of self-love. For me, that's just going for a swim, for example, but without having to look at the clock. Without thinking, oh, I've got 15 minutes in the water. Taking a sip of herbal tea in a relaxed way. Outside, listening to the birds. What is it for you? You may have even forgotten if you're so busy rushing around. We're being invited to pause during July and August to reset. If you don't have your energy levels up, then maybe there's a reason. Maybe it's an invitation for you to relax and to take some time out. Yeah, Christiana, bless your ancestors for having formed those patterns. New perspective, isn't it though? And let's bless them and know that it's in the past and that we're here to create a new future. And if you would like to continue to journey with me, I am going to be showing up literally morning, noon and night at different times throughout the week next week for some nourishing practices, for some self-love. A whole 6 days I'm going to show up, and it's just going to be beautiful and soft and very spontaneous and very guided. I just have the times and I have some ideas, and I know that they will evolve just beautifully. And so if you are ready to dive in and to take that time, half an hour a day, and you can catch up and put a compilation together of all of the guided meditations, of tappings, journaling, whatever we're going to do. So you can catch up in your own time, but there will always be space for you to come and join us live. That was my whole intention of offering different times. As we move into July, as we move through the full moon energy, which is another super full moon, again, that is going to be bringing up stuff up to the surface to heal. Are you ready to heal it? I just remembered as well, I'm doing a beautiful full moon circle in Neston on Wednesday. That's going to be live around the campfire, and I'm also going to be doing a beautiful online one on Monday, which I know is just going to be beautifully nourishing around the subject of self-love. We're going to journey and find self-love. Remember who we really are. Until then, until the next time I show up, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for the love hearts, Jackie. You are incredible. These are incredible times. The old is falling apart and the new is being rebuilt, and that is never going to be easy, but we signed all signed up to be here in these times. So let's support each other through. Sending so much love, sending light, and inviting miracles into your life. Namaste. Thank you so much too, Jackie. So much love to you all. Thank you, Jackie. And I hope you feel better soon. I hope you take some time to recharge, Christiana. Sending so much love. Blessings to you all. Good night.